Hi everybody, it's time for another thrilling installment of Patreon questions and answers. My Patreon members provide the questions. I, based on my 28 years of trading experience, provide the answers. And if you want to ask me a question, consider joining my Patreon, link in the description below. This is not investment advice, just for entertainment and education purposes. We are going to talk about Climax tops. We're going to talk about trading trend channels. We're going to talk about Minervini low cheats and cheats. Look at a couple specific stocks. So here we go. Let's see. I'm going to look at my second monitor here to read the question. Rick wanted some guidelines for recognizing Climax tops. Then he wanted my opinion on when to get out of Palantir. He's got a nice gain, doesn't want to give it all back. Yeah, I get it. So, regarding when to sell, I think we refer to the Holy Bible of investing here, William O'Neill's How to Make Money in Stocks. He's got a really good section on when to sell. Page 1. Hold on, I forgot what page it's on. Page 263 and 264, he's got a list. Let's just read the bold print on the list. I took a quick snapshot of this. I know it's hard to read, but I'm sure you can find this list online with a basic Google search. So let's just look at his list, and then let's look at some real world examples from history, and then a few that are potentially happening right now. Let's see, number one, largest daily run up. So if a stock price is already extended and then it runs up, it makes the biggest gain in many weeks, that is a clue that the top is in. Heaviest daily volume. When we see huge daily volume, the biggest volume of the year after a long price move. Exhaustion gaps. So you have breakout gaps, continuation gaps, and exhaustion gaps. When you've had a few gaps already, stock's quite extended, and then it gaps up again, it's often an exhaustion gap. Let's see, Climax top activity. We're on number 4 here. So another one, if you have an extended run up and then you have 7 or 8 days in a row, or 7 of 8 days. I was just looking at Walmart. So you have this nice uptrend, then you have an acceleration, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whole bunch of days in a row, and then pretty big pullback today. This is probably done for a while. Now, I'm not saying Walmart's going to be a great investment for years to come, I would think, but it probably needs some time now to pull back to the 21-day or the 50-day. Let's get back to that list here. Signs of distribution. So if the volume is big, but there's very little price movement, that's churning. That is a lot of it's just called churning, and that can signal exhaustion. Stock splits, a lot of times, a 2-to-1 split is fine, even a 3-to-1. Once you get above that, that's often, companies usually do that after a big run, and that they're usually unintentionally marking the top. You may recall, let's see, some of the big mega caps, Tesla and, oh gosh, I don't remember. Some of them did 5-to-1 and even 10-to-1 splits not too long ago, and sure enough, that marked the top for quite a few weeks. There's one more page. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see. Increasing consecutive down days. This is if it's making like a rounding top or something when you have, hold on, I gotta let the dog. So if you've been seeing 3 days up and 1 day down, and then all of a sudden you start seeing 3 days down and 1 day up, that's obviously a sign. Upper channel line, if it's been in a trend channel for a long time and all of a sudden it breaks parabolically through the upper line of the channel, that is often a sign that it is nearing the end of its run. Breaking through the 200-day average on high volume, breaking through the 50-day average on high volume. That's not on the list, by the way. 200-day moving average line. He said if a stock is 100% or more above their 200-day moving average although then he says, I rarely use this one. And then anecdotally, when you start seeing comments from the thousands of people on the internet, like this one here, Palantir is unstoppable. That's a sign that it is going to at least pause for a while. Now let's go through and look at a few from history. Okay, here is Zoom. When was this? Late 2021 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but that's okay. We don't need to know for these purposes. But you have this big run up here, and then you have a few big up days in a row, and then stalling action. See the stalling action followed by a big down day. That's a dead giveaway that the stock is going to pull back. And notice it's also kind of head and shouldery, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Let's see, Peloton. This was again, I think, 2021. We see stalling action, stalling action, stalling action, head and shoulders top, roll over, and it breaks. Celsius, I think this was also 2021. Here we see a huge, big volume break. Sorry, I'm trying to draw lines here, of the 50-day. Sometimes if you're lucky, it'll come back up and bounce and get out there, but other times they just break. Let's see, Tilray. This one, I actually put some of this move. This was way back in 2019. Parabolic run. This was one of the early marijuana stocks where you had highest volume of the year, hold number resistance, 3 Livermores, huge range of the day. So pretty big range, huge price increase, stalling action, closed less than halfway up for the day. And that was it. And I don't think it's ever recovered. Which leads us to today, what is looking toppish, and we'll say Palantir for the end here. Let's see, Mr. Biggest sell volume of the year, big bearish engulfing day. I don't think it's done per se, but it's probably done for a few weeks or months. Maybe it needs to tag up with the 50-day here. We will see SMCI, head and shoulders top, shoulder, head, shoulder. Huge bearish engulfing day on huge volume. Even though that didn't mark the exact top, it marked pretty much the top, right? So if you see something like that, you get out, or certainly the next day when it closes, when it opens lower, you get out. Neckline, short it right there. ARM, another head and shoulders top, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder, big volume, sell bars closing at the bottom of its range. Which brings us to Palantir. Palantir, I think is going to be, fundamentally from what I know, I think it's going to be trending upwards for years, if not, I don't know about decades, months, if not years. But no question that it's overheated here. Look how far it is from its 200-day. It is, 150% from its 200-day. This is a normal price action. This is parabolic price action. We've got a big sell volume day today. If this engulfs this prior candle and then opens lower the next day, I probably would sell most of my position. If I own this right now, I don't like the price action today in the market or the stock. I would sell a piece today, sell more at the end of the day if it engulfs this previous candle. Then it depends on where my entry point is. Here is the original base. If I bought this breakout right here, I probably would have gotten shaken out. Let's say I got it back in right here. Then I would be up, 160%. So what I would do is I'd split my stop, and I'd put half my stop beneath the 21-day, half my stop beneath the 50-day and give it some wiggle room. Give it a percent or two beneath each. Probably, now this is a guess, but probably worst case scenario, it's going to come down and touch the 50-day or touch near the 50-day like that. All right, I got to move on to another question. Okay, Karen asks, when you do swing trading within the trend channel, do you consider the volume as well or simply the trend channel? Yeah, absolutely consider the volume. Let's draw in a trend channel on this FTAI. Okay, let's get our line drawing tool right here. I'm using stockcharts.com. We had a great trend channel here. That's a little thick. Let's go blue here. And then we can duplicate this. If you hold down the control button, oh, maybe not. Hold on a second. Yeah, I was right. I just messed it up. If you hold down the control button, it will duplicate the channel. In fact, let's just extend this thing all the way up there. Okay, so there's our channel, right? So swing trading a trend channel, obviously, you're either just buying bottoms or buying bottoms and selling at the top of the channel. But we definitely want to look at volume for clues. So starting out here, so sometimes you're looking for volume dry up the day before the move. So sometimes you're not going to get it. Like this is pretty big sell volume here, and then the next day it ticks up and begins to swing upward. But a lot of times you will. Here is a spinning top doji on really low volume. See that? And then the next day it starts the move back up. Here is an accumulation hammer, very low volume, meaning very few shares are changing hands. Uptick the next day. That's our signal. Let's see if there's another one. This one here, volume is elevated, but a lot of that is accumulation because it actually closed way up here from being down there and then up the next day. That's where you make your move. Let's look at this one. Dragonfly doji, very low volume, selling has dried up, buy it the next day. So yeah, absolutely look at volume. And if you get a bounce off of a lower trend channel line and the volume characteristics aren't there, you can still play it, but maybe not as heavily. So today it's actually set up to bounce again. Right now it's sitting on the 50-day. Volume, hard to tell right now, early in the day. We want to see something like this, or better yet, something like this, where it actually closes near the high of the day. And then you could either start your position and then add to it the next day if it opens to the upside. But in any case, we're pretty close to the danger zone, right? If we get a bounce here, we could buy, and 5% stop would put us down here beneath the 50-day. Okay, let's see. And then Karen also wanted to for me to talk more about Minervini's low cheat and cheat entry points with some practical examples. Let's just do one because I got to get back to watching the market. The market is really crazy today. But so basically O'Neill, now let me preface this by saying low cheats and cheats generally only work as the market is turning bullish. If you're in a bear market and try to cheat on bases, a lot of times they're going to blow out the bottom and stop you out. So keep that in mind. But if you are in a bull market or you feel like the market's turning from bear to bull, then that's when you can play these low cheats and cheats. And you do this primarily on cup with handles. Right now there are not very many cup with handles. Most stocks are kind of mid-move, so to speak. We need a 5 or 10% pullback in the market that lasts a few weeks to build us these bases. But let's go back. Here is 2020 Apple. So here is your classic O'Neill cup with handle, right? Cup, handle, breakout. So what Minervini did is he realized that you can cheat on these things and the risk of failure is more, but you get a much better entry point. And so when the conditions are right, like I said, bull market or turning to bull, then it's really advantageous. So the low cheat, so here's the left side of the base. You draw a line here. When it breaks this lower trend line, this downtrending line, retests and then starts to pop again, which is right there. That's where you initiate your low cheat. And then you just look for platforms as it's working up the right side of the cup. In this case, we've got a pretty decent platform right here. Breaks the platform, so you would add right here. So half position here, or maybe quarter position here, half position here, comes up near the high, pulls back, little shakeout, maybe you go full position there, and then you get your O'Neill handle, breakout, 2x position here, and you got a much bigger position and lower cost basis than if you had just waited to buy the O'Neill breakout, so to speak. It'd be fun to look at these. We should do another one of these videos when I have time. But actually, if you go to my channel and YouTube and search Minervini low cheats, I have done a couple videos on this. What else we got? Okay, Shaw's asking if we have got failure reset entry, potential entry on DBD. And I would say yes, it's very close. So we got a nice uptrend. We have got nice earnings growth. Sales growth isn't happening yet. We got a nice earnings trend line there. More institutions moving into it. Relative strength's only 83. Not fantastic. Recent issue. Hot industry. And look at this nice tight trading area. So essentially, here's our base, right? Breakout on the day before earnings. That's interesting. Breakout, failure, and now it's right up here at this line of resistance. So basically it's reset now. Trading quietly, volumes coming down, up on a down day, which is great. I would think, in my opinion, the next strong move we get through this, which I guess is 49, I absolutely would be comfortable putting on a trade there and just put a real tight stop right there. Then if you're wrong, you're only losing a couple percent. And then if it's just a shoe clerk shakeout, you know, let's say we get one of these, and then we get one of these, and we're right back in again, then guess what? Pattern's even better now. Then you get in it again. Sometimes it takes a few times to get in. Let's see. Anthony trying to get into FICO. Yeah, I've got a position in FICO, and it's acting like it's going to give us, it's either going to break down here or it's going to give us a new entry point. So this is a great long-term stock. As you can see, though, it really has gotten a bit parabolic here, so it's good that it's coming in a little bit. Nice earnings line, very profitable company, stable growth, one of the best stocks in the market, in my opinion. So here is our, remember when I said, when O'Neill says, breaks that top of that trend channel, if you're swing trading, then that's where you sell, right there. But let's clear this. What we've got now is it's coming in to the 50-day. So we just want to see if the 50-day will catch it. And it probably will, because the 50-day is strongly ascending. Fundamentals are strong behind it. Market is healthy overall. So we just want to see, you know, some sort, maybe an interday undercut. We want to see volume dry up, something like that. And then that's our entry point right there. Don't just buy it blindly when it gets to the 50-day, because sometimes they'll go all the way to the 200-day or farther. And watch for that volume dry up. That's our clue as well. And then last one is Susan is in NBIS at 26.60. Thoughts on the chart? Let's go to stockcharts.com. Okay, so she bought it 26.6 on 12.3 right here. Trade definitely worked for you. Hopefully you took some profit today. The chart, I mean, obviously it's in a very powerful uptrend. What is this? I'm not familiar with this. NBIS infrastructure for Netherlands, service to AI builders. Very interesting. Strong relative strength. So this looks like a recent IPO that may show strength this over the next 12 months. It's a mess right now. I don't like your entry point, honestly. I'm really glad you made money on it. I don't really like your entry point too much. Let's go back. How do we want to do this? So we don't really, I mean, I suppose we can call this your IPO base. Okay. So you got a little tiny flag here. It'd be pretty difficult to get in this thing. Really, the best entry point in hindsight is right here on 11.15. You had a downtrend, a small price movement, very low volume, indicating sellers have dried up, and then it's up the next day. So you buy it right here. Oops. Buy it right there. Sell stop right there. That would have worked. Then it comes up to this all-time high, hits the turbulence zone, pulls back onto support. And then this is a bit of a stretch here, but you get this bounce off support. You could add there. Those would be my two buy points. Now this has run up, selling off today. What do you do now if you own it like you do? Now you do whatever you want, of course. Personally, we've got this huge buy volume coming in, big sell day on volume. I'd be taking a partial here, and then let's see, you're at 26.60. I probably would take a partial today, and then probably just put my stop at my buy point, and then you're free rolling it. And if you're lucky, so your buy point is right here. If you're lucky, you know, it comes in, gets caught at 30 or something like that. Okay, you guys, hope you enjoyed the question and answer session. If you're not a member of my Patreon, consider joining 7-day free trial. You can also check out my sponsor, Seeking Alpha Premium. Let's see what it says about this NBIS. I'm going to put this on my watch list. Citron says the CEO is the real deal. Diamond in the AI mania's dust. Interesting. I'll have to read this. Astonishingly cheap pure play AI company. Okay, you guys. Let me know your thoughts and comments. I'll see you in the next video.